You're listening to Stories to Create with your host, Cornell Bunting. Author, motivational speaker, and founder of EHAS Each Episode. Cornell sits down with inspiring voices to uncover the stories that shape who we are and who we're becoming. Get ready to listen, learn, and be inspired. The show starts now.
Now, yes. Welcome to another episode of Stories to Create podcast right here at EHAS CLUB. I'm back in the studio today. I'm excited. Listen, we got a Christmas show. I'm a little hoarse. My voice is a little hoarse because I was doing a lot of talking this past week. You know, we did a lot of giving. We're going to talk a little bit about that in a little bit, you know, but we got to jump off a lot of, you know, of course it's a Christmas show. So, you know, I want to kick the show off right. Yeah. And I mean, most times when I do a show like this and you guys be like, okay, Cornell, like what are we doing here? You know, there's one song that I'm like I go crazy about. Go crazy about this song right here. You know it. It's my girl right here, man. She knocked it out the park with this one right here. No, she don't care about the presents under the tree. Do you? I know you want someone to say that to you for the Christmas. And so, with that, Mariah Carey saying it to you guys right now. Uh-oh. You ready for the bells? Oh, yeah. Love it. Listen, I'm excited, you know. I'm excited for a lot of different reasons. And, you know, there's a joy when you get to give and you see the faces, you know, just because, you know, we go through a whole year where, you know, there's a lot of challenges. You know, we just feel hopeless on a lot of things. And we're like, you know what? I just want this year to end. I want to see what the next year is going to bring. And, you know, you get all in that vibe, you know, and then next thing you know, boom, out of nowhere, there's an organization that comes and give you toys, give you all these things. It's amazing. And so for me, that's where we are, you know, and I want to shout out the whole EHAS team, the EHAS team here in America, the EHAS team in Jamaica. Everyone came out and was all hands on deck, people. When I tell you, it was a lot of fun. You know, we had 5 schools that participate where each of the schools brought all their kids from the school and they got an opportunity to get a toy. We served 948 kids. Their family came, you know, we got to interact with them, check up on their mental health. It was a beautiful thing. It was a day of just amazingness, you know, hope when I tell you. And we couldn't have did that without all the people that have donated toys. You know, we had a few individuals that donated some money to help with a lot of what that looked like. And I gotta tell you guys, man, we got so two of my team members from here in America came, went down to the event. Sharita Davis, who is here in Southwest Florida where I'm at. She went down, and when I tell you, yo, she was boots on ground. Like, to see someone that have never been in this place before, just own it. She got in there and she was killing it. It was amazing. She was moving as if she knew there. Like she lived there. Like she knew everywhere, like all. Yo, man, listen, I'm telling you, like, I was so happy that I had an opportunity to bring her down, work with her, and then, all you guys know Trudy, that, is our external committee chair. She came down. Amazing. When I tell you they were rock star people, they were rock star. I can't thank those two ladies enough for coming down. And, Sharita is here right now, too. Ooh, Sharita. Oh, she is so awesome, people. But I'm telling you, man, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. And, there were times when I even felt bad for Trudy, because Trudy was back there. There's all these kids, all these parents. I know it got chaotic there for a minute. And you know what I did? I went back there. And I was going to be like, you know what? Let me see how I could help. I couldn't help people. I walked away. I literally just walked away. But it was so much fun just seeing how everyone just came in and just loved on the kids, the performers. It was amazing. It was just an amazing thing. And it takes away from anything else that was happening, because for me and, people that know me, the joy, what brings me joy is when you give to these kids, you give back to them and you show them like, hey, despite the challenges you go through, there is someone that loves you. There is someone that is here to love on you. And when I tell you, everyone that came and was volunteered at that event, they love on the kids, the teams down there, everyone that, was there, the teachers, the principals from the different schools, they came and they just love on their kids. We had an individual there that was our point of contact that was just amazing as well. Captain Ican, oh my goodness. Captain Ican was amazing. He headlined the show. And, I got to tell you guys, I feel like that kids didn't think it was possible for Jamaica to have an individual that have created something as like a Iron Man suit, because they watch the movie Iron Man and they're like, oh, it's just in the movies. We had a guy in real life that was in the suit, it was just amazing. And so, that was huge. The performers was beautiful. The cooks, they did a wonderful job in the kitchen. I didn't really get to try a lot of the food, but everyone that was eating, they said the food was good. And so, it was beautiful. So I got to tell you, man, my guy, Joe, big up yourself, man. Like we're gonna vibe out in a little bit, my brother, man. Thank you for jumping in, man. But we're just doing a little bit of recap on, me just coming back from Jamaica and, the experience down there with the impact that we've done. We've impacted over 1,400 kids. We left St. Elizabeth after work, helping over 900 kids there. And then we went into Kingston in the Craigtown and we got to those kids. There was over 140 kids. It was amazing. Kids got regular shoes, kids got cleats, kids got toys, Play-Dohs. Ooh, I didn't even know Play-Dohs was such a big deal. We had Play-Dohs and them kids went ham with the Play-Dohs. Of course, my books were there. Leslie Plover, everyone got a copy of Leslie Plover. They were so excited. It was amazing. Then we had sent down all this food for all these different people in the Treasure Beach area that had gotten affected by Beryl. And everyone, shout out to the fire station, Superintendent Needham, and his team that went out there to all the different houses, gave everyone groceries. Oh, it was amazing. Like when I tell you guys, we made some major impact on just this move, with everyone that just came aboard and just it is, listen, I gotta tell you guys, man, when you see how a lot of this unfold and the joy on these kids' faces, it was amazing. It was just amazing. And just them seeing the people that was pouring into them, how much we genuinely wanted to be pouring in them and loving on them. It was amazing, and then I got to meet, with Dr. Trevor Monroe, who is going to be teaming up with EHAS in Jamaica and, of course, here, just to make what we're doing a little better and, for us to be more effective with what we're doing moving into 2025. It's going to be big. We got a new law firm now on the ground. And sometimes, people say we don't hear about the challenges you face, Cornell, because we don't talk about the challenges so much. But what I can tell you guys, we had hired an attorney 2 years back to get us everything that we needed to function there. And they just took our money and they didn't do what they were supposed to do. And so I didn't even know what was happening until I met this new attorney that we just hired. And they literally looked in and said, oh, you guys are not even registered the proper way. And so, I got to tell you, definitely, Shank, we got you. You got you. You definitely going on the next one to help out. We got you. We got you. But one of the things, man, for whatever reason, when someone get into business with you and they don't do what they're supposed to do, you still try to be, patient. You still try to just go with it because you don't know, for whatever reason, what that was. And I'm not talking about someone that's a scammer. I'm talking about someone that's supposed to be a business person, that's ethical, that, is honest about business, that stand on business. This person, disappoint me a little bit with that. And so, but this new law firm that we brought in, shout out to Miss Cavell Johnston and her team. When I tell you guys, and I'm like, yo, I got to fly back to America today. Like, listen, we going to be there in the morning, 8 o'clock. Breakfast was ready. Listen, it was amazing to just roll out the red carpet. It was a beautiful thing. And so I'm really excited about a lot of what is going to be unfolding in 2025 and how we're going to be able to impact more lives, more kids there on the ground. And of course, the kids here, of course, we don't leave out the kids here because this is where it all started. The kids in Jamaica, they get a version of what we're doing here with the kids. And we help a lot of kids, for a lot of you guys that have never got a chance to go and check out the website, ehasinc.org, you see how we really do a lot of what we do. And the academy, what that look like, the soft skills learning programs that we go on, it's like basically helping them to understand how to think critically, helping them to understand the importance of integrity, how to be assertive, in all these different areas, what financial literacy look like, communication, storytelling and, what that look like, how to write. Because, for me, when I introduce myself to a kid and I say I'm a published author, they're like, okay, can I become a writer too? Of course you can, and we're here to teach you what that looks like, and we bring individuals around that have, they're creative as well, that have that artistic mind, and so basically, when we pour into these kids, we pour into them. One thing I can tell you guys, there is no kids we've interacted with that don't remember us when they see us again. They see us again and they're like, uh-oh, it's going to be some fun now. It's going to be some fun. We going to learn and we going to want to learn, and so it's a beautiful thing on what that look like. And so I'm like really excited when people come on board with what we're doing and just run with what we're doing and embrace it in the way that we've been doing what we've been doing. And so, you know, with the show today, because I know we've kind of just been recapping a little bit on, you know, the trip away and, you know, impacting the lives. We still got more gifts we giving. Like tomorrow, you know, we're in Immokalee. Tomorrow we're here in, you know, downtown in the Dunbar community. So, you know, we still got more toys we giving. You know, we still got a box of toys down at Germain of Lexus that we're going to go pick up in a little bit for those kids. So listen, man, this Christmas, the whole joy of giving, you know, I want to tell you guys, and I know all you listeners that are out there that's hearing the show right now, you know, if you feel compelled to go and check out ehasinc.org, please do, you know, make a donation because you're helping to impact a youth. You know, we have a lot of youths that we work with, and this December, we're not even going to say this Christmas season, this December alone, we have impacted over 2,000 youths. You know, so it's a beautiful thing because there's quite a bit that we've been doing and seeing. And when I tell you guys, oh, wait until you see the images. Like, you know, we got the photos, we got some of the videos. We got one video that's out that we're getting ready to drop out, little snippets here and there. Oh, it was amazing. It was like just the fun that we had with these kids and the way these kids interact. You know, it's quite amazing when you see a kid get in tune because, you know, they heard there's a scooter or they hear there's a bike or they hear there's this toy that they've never had before that they could get if they answer a question that if they were listening in school, they would have known the answer to. And when I tell you, these kids, they tapped in, they tuned in, and they were doing a great job answering the questions. Like so many kids had their hands raised, and they were ready. You know, they were ready to go. And, you know, I got to tell you, man, I was really excited. I was really encouraged just to see just how all that work. And, you know, just with the kids, it feels good when you're there and you're working with them and they accept you, you know, and they embrace what that looks like. And it, you know, everyone's having fun. It's a beautiful thing. Everything is moving, you know. But on the show today, for all you listeners, you know, I know you guys be like, you know, it's a Christmas show, Cornell. You know, are you gonna kind of maybe talk about time of giving, what that looked like? I mean, we could. And so, you know, I think.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Every young person carries a story of hope, of struggle, of dreams waiting to rise. But in too many undeserved communities, those stories go unheard.
At ease Inc. Everyone has a story. We believe every voice deserves a chance. Through mentorship, empowering programs, and storytelling workshops, we help youth discover their purpose, strengthen their mindset, and build a future they can be proud of.
From classrooms in Jamaica to communities across Southwest Florida,
EHAS is changing lives,
one story at a time.
but we can't do it alone. Join us, become a mentor, volunteer, donate, help us fuel the next generation of leaders, creators, and change makers.
Visit EHAS.org today, because when you help a young person share their story, you help them change their world.
For a lot of individuals, you know, they say Christmas is often a time of giving because of it's the deep culture the historical, the religious significance, what that looks like. And so I think with what that looked like, I think for me, I was like, okay, could we maybe throw out a few whys? Why does this season associate with generosity the way it does? And so, of course, I got to tap in. I got to go say, okay, let me find a few things that maybe there's an argument that we could say yes. So what I find was like the biblical origins, like when they say the gift of Jesus, what does the gift of Jesus look like? And they're like, okay, well, for Christians, Christmas comrades, they commemorates the birth of Jesus Christ, whom they believe was God's gift to humanity. Yes. And, and I'm letting you guys know this, whether I agree or not, for me, I stand in a lot of what that look like. And so they're like, the divine act of giving inspires believers to reflect that, generosity in their own lives and what that look like. And so the magic gift, what is the magic gift? And then, people be like, oh, I think that is where the three wise men, they came and they were offering gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh to baby Jesus, to reinforce the tradition of giving during Christmas, and I know some of you guys have seen like that. I think it's Talladega night when when Will Ferrell is praying to God and he was like, baby Jesus, and they were getting all irritated a little bit. But hey, I get it. You praying a little sweet, adorable baby Jesus, listen, you got to laugh, and sometimes you got to find stuff to laugh about, and I do that. So, the next thing is, what the reflections of gratitude, of blessings look like, and so, this season, it encourages people to reflect on the blessings, they've received throughout the year, and this gratitude often translate into like a desire to share, those blessings with others, especially those less fortunate, and hey, listen, for whatever reason, someone is in a less fortunate situation, it's good. It feels good when you help someone, and so this is where EHAS shines huge, We celebrate the love and community, what that look like. And so, for many people, they'll be like, well, Christmas is a time for families and communities to come together, emphasizing on relationship over material things, whatever that look like, giving gifts, time, or, acts of kindness, that strengthen those bonds and express love and appreciation. It's a beautiful thing. And then we could tap into the influences of cultural traditions. What does that look like? Oh, St. Nicholas. St. Nicholas, that's a legend story right there. I just got to let you guys know. The legend of St. Nicholas, is a kind-hearted figure known for giving to poor, that have really evolved into modern-day Santa Claus, as some that would say, and so it's one of those things where that legend, what that looked like, it embodies this spirit of, selflessness and generosity, which is a beautiful thing. Gift giving, which is like a tradition, many culture love, that have long-standing traditions of exchanging gifts or helping those in need during, because they say this is the winter season, yes? It actually is the winter season. It's cold. I mean, I'm inside right now, but outside is cold. So, can someone please let, when I'm doing the live, guys, you guys got to wait until I'm done with the live before you call, because if you call, you're interrupting the live. I can't answer you while I'm doing the live. And so, yeah, I know for all my listeners out there, so I am doing a live right now as well where, people that follow me on like the Facebook, they can see and hear what is unfolding on the podcast as it unfolds on the podcast. Because, sometimes I do that. I've been said that I don't show a lot of what I'm doing sometime on the show. And we're moving into, 2025 where we're going to be doing that more, where it's going to be, put it like this, the show is going to be bigger. It's Cornell, like we do bigger. We try to do bigger every time and we get better. You can't get worse than what you was doing, because then what sense does that make? I mean, I'm thinking in my head, that don't even make sense. But anyway, so we still on, what this looks like. And then we can't have the conversation without talking about acts of kindness in winter months. I mean, think about it. The harshness of winter historically made it a time when people needed extra help, right? Like sharing food, warmth, and resource became like a common practice, And so I think with that, the act of kindness, were carried into the holiday tradition. And so that was kind of what that looked like. And then, some would say, well, what is the encouragement of generosity in modern society look like? Charitable drives. This is where EHAS come in, people. And if you guys don't want to help EHAS, there's a lot of other organizations that's really boots on the ground doing the work. I'm not talking about those organizations that you guys know that are popular but not necessarily doing the work, We do the work. And I believe that if you tell someone you're looking for help to do this, when you do get the help to do this, do what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? It's only right. It's only right, I have a conscience that will never allow me to do something or ask for something, and when I get whatever that is, I don't do what I'm supposed to do with that. It just won't let me sit good. I've never put myself in that situation, so I don't know how terrible I would feel if I was to put myself in a situation like that. So, basically, charitable drives, community service, goodwill campaigns, definitely something that, people ramp up during the Christmas season. Organizations like us, and individuals are like, they seize those opportunities to give back to their communities. And so people be like, why Jamaica? I was born in Jamaica. Yeah, I was born in Jamaica. So, it's a beautiful thing. Of course, you guys know I was born in Jamaica. My accent is terrible. So, one of those things. So the joy of giving, the symbol of hope, what does that look like? The joy of giving, giving brings joy, not only to recipients, but also to their givers. It really does. And, the act of making someone else happy, especially during a season filled with celebration and warmth, foster a sense of fulfillment and connection, and I got to let you guys know out there in my beautiful listening world, I love you guys, man. Just love you guys for even that listen to my show. It's, it's a beautiful thing. And as I say, like my voice is kind of gone right now. I know you guys can hear me, and if the voice sounds maybe a little hoarse or whatever, but they're like, yo, that's a cool voice right there, bruv. Yeah, I know. It's a cool voice. Symbol of hope. For many, Christmas is a time to restore faith in humanity. Giving to others spreads hope, and showing that kindness and compassionate of what that could look like. You show people that compassion exists in, for sometime a difficult world. it's beautiful, you know. And so what I can say on this, you know, ultimately, you know, Christmas is a time of giving that reflects the universal values of generosity, you know, compassion and love, you know, that which, you know, making it a season not just of celebration, but of meaningful connection and care. You know, that's what that is right there. It's a beautiful thing. I gotta tell you, you know, we've stand on business when it comes to what does it look like to be people that are considered good people. You know, because you could say good friends, you know, and then people be like, okay, well, the qualities like, you know, kindness, trustworthiness, and empathy. It's huge. That is huge, people. And, you know, I want you guys to know that if you have those three things, you are a special one. You will go a far way, you know. And so, you know, just to let you guys know what them three words are again: kindness, trustworthiness, and empathy. Huge. I can't say it enough. You know, be a good person in this world. You know, we need more good people. You know, we got people that don't necessarily have the patience to deal with certain people because of whatever, you know, action they show or behavior, whatever that look like. You know, we need you guys. We need good people in this world because we're at a different time now. We're at a different time. And so we embrace those people that are good listeners. Good listeners pay attention when someone's speaking. They avoid interrupting or thinking about what you'll say next. This is very true, you know. You want to validate feelings, you know, so you're showing empathy by acknowledging the emotions, you know. That sounds really tough, or I'm so happy for you. Empathy. Ooh. You know, show genuine interest. You know, you show genuine, you got to remember, you know, important details about lives, you know, like, you know, what is an individual favorite thing, you know, special dates, the goals, you know, like, you know, you ask meaningful questions to show you care about what, you know, is going on in that individual's world. You know, it's important to show genuine interest. Be reliable. What does that look like to be reliable? You got to keep promises. You have to keep promises. You know, if you say you're going to do something, follow through. That's it. Follow through. I know life happens sometime and it, you know, puts you in a situation where you can't get it done in the time that you wanted to get it done. But there's other times. So get it done. You know, it's one of those things where you got to understand it is necessary for you to be there in the tough times. You know, you want to be showing support when someone's struggling, you know, even if it's just by being present or checking in. And, you know, I got to say just a little story on this. You know, I had a friend that's at celebrity status, and, you know, he asked me for some money one time and I gave him the money, and then he asked me for money again, and I gave him, and I was kind of curious because I'm like, yo, this person's supposed to have way more money than I do, and I didn't really want to ask what they're doing with the money, but then because of the way it was asked the third time, I was like, hey, well, what's going on here? What is happening? And then I realized that, drugs was starting to take out. You know when someone is on drugs. I'm just saying. People are not stupid. But it had gotten to that point, you know, where this was what was happening. And I'm like, I want to help you, but I don't want to help you like that. I don't want to help you to kill yourself. You know, I don't want to help you to not be here no more. You know, I want you to see that you're an important person. There's a lot of people cheering for you. There's a lot of people that get excited when they see you. So I'm going to pull myself back. I'm going to step back a little bit. And that could mean me not answering your call when you call me, or, you know, you asking me, and I'm like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. You know, so I had a situation like that. And that person really took that, you know, personal, and didn't like that I did that, and said, you know, I left them to hang, you know, and but now they're clean. They're not even on that no more, and they're doing great. And, you know, while they don't talk to me no more, that's okay, because at least I know I didn't give in to something that was slowly killing you, you know. And so you're still here, and a lot of other people now get to still enjoy what that look like, because people embrace people that are creative, that have done movies that are just memorable, you know, where they're like, yo, man, I just love your performance in this. I go back and I watch this. Because for a lot of people, movies therapy, you know, and so it's a beautiful thing, you know. And so, you know, and I know after that story, like going into 4, where I'm talking about offering unconditional support. You know, you want to celebrate individuals' achievement without jealousy. And I know that's easy for, you know, a lot of individuals to like, oh my goodness, what is this? You know, but, you know, you want to be honest, you know, but kind when, you know, they need advice, you know, and, you know, whatever that perspective could look like. Then here comes the big bubble, right? Respect boundaries. Respecting boundaries are very important. You know, you don't want to push an individual to share, you know, whatever that is, you know, because they could be uncomfortable. And so, you know, listen, happy holidays to you, my friend. Oh my goodness, I haven't seen you in so long, Felicia. Thank you, my love. Thank you, my love. Love you, love you, love you, love you. But yeah, you know, and then understanding that individuals may need their space sometime, you know. Time alone sometime is big for a lot of individuals. Then we go into the trustworthiness, you know. It's important to be trustworthy. You keep secret confidential. That's important. If someone tell you something and they're like, let's keep that between us, that's what you need to do. You know, avoid gossiping about your friend to other people, or that individual to other people, because that's just, you bring in chaos, you know, and you don't want to be doing all that. You know, we don't encourage that. We don't encourage that at all. You know, you definitely want to express gratitude. Gratitude is huge. You know, you want to let that individual or that friend know how much they mean to you. You know, small gestures, you know, like thank you. And, you know, whether that is in a text, in an email, you know, surprise treat actually do go a long way. And that's big. You know, I'm encouraging, you know, and anyone that tell you that they know me, and if they tell you, oh, Cornell is not encouraging, hey, don't believe them. I'm very encouraging. I encourage people. I give away a lot of my gems for free. So, you know, being encouraging is a big thing. You know, you want to cheer an individual on in their endeavor, you know, and then remind them of their strengths. You know, it's big. You know, you want to help them, you know, to stay motivated during the challenges, because in the challenges is when a lot of people fall off, you know, and they don't continue whatever that is that they were doing because they just couldn't handle it no more. You know, and then this is for me, I'm still learning in this area, you know, where I handle conflicts gracefully. And when I tell you I handle conflicts gracefully, you know, I address issues openly and calmly without being defensive. And I work on that, you know. And of course, again, here, I do apologize when I know I'm wrong, you know. I forgive when I know I made a mistake, you know. Sir Chris, thank you, sir. Thank you. You know, it's a beautiful thing. And then, you know, you want a friendship with someone, you definitely got to make time for them. You have to. You know, you prioritize spending time together, you know, even if it's just a quick call or maybe coffee, mint tea, you know, some type of bush tea. Not saying I'm not encouraging the coffee, but, you know, you can even have some water or some juice. It's a beautiful thing. So, you know, I got to say that when you create shared experience, you know, like let's say you're trying something new, or, you know, you revisiting a favorite tradition, it's big. Just understand the essence of being a great friend or individual lies in treating others the way you'd like to be treated while being mindful of, you know, what the unique need or preference is, you know, and just know that good friendship, you know, is built on mutual respect, care, and efforts. Very important. Very, 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 very important. So, you know, we've gotten, like, you know, quite a bit going with the organization, and a lot of what we've decided that, you know what, we want to show that we're really here for these youths. And so with that, you know, I got to say the team have jumped in and have done an amazing job. But, you know, as again, you know, we're still in that space where we're vibing. We're vibing right now.
I'm gonna get to know you better this Christmas. And as we trim the tree, how much fun it's gonna be together. This Christmas, the fireside is blazing bright. Whoa, we're caroling through the night. Whoa, this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me.
I know, you gotta love the voice when you hear them type of voice. Shout out to my dude, Chris Brown, man. It's a beautiful thing. I know a lot of you guys are gonna be vibing out this Christmas on some pretty dope joints. You know, there's certain pieces for me that are huge. But, you know, I can't end the show without touching on a piece like this, you know. Mm-hmm.
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and
Bet you guys didn't know I could sing like that, innit? It's a beautiful thing. So I gotta tell you guys, yes, we've had a lot of fun. For all you guys out there, shout out to them guys, Patanics. They do a beautiful thing. I gotta say, happy holidays to you guys. Happy holidays to you, Trudy. Thank you again for doing such a great job in Jamaica. It was amazing. And just, hey, happy holidays to all you guys out there that's listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this season. And even if you don't get to give someone a gift, look at them and smile and just say, happy holidays. Even if they don't respond back to you, it's okay. It's okay. Because you know what? You did something wonderful. And it's a beautiful. And all it takes is just for us to make that one move. We don't necessarily need to get nothing in return, because you know what? That's coming. It's coming. It's a beautiful thing. And I'm really excited, just for what's in store for our organization and just me on a whole, as the published author that I am, trying to bring certain stories to life and entertain my listeners. So with you guys, I just want to thank you for every week that you come and you check out a new show of mine and you show love by downloading or you share, whatever that look like. It's an amazing thing, especially this show. I encourage all you guys to share so people can know a little bit about our organization. Go check out our organization, to see how you can help. And again, that website, ehasinc.org. You go on there, there's drop downs. You click on a drop down and it takes you to those areas of what's going on there. So, it's a beautiful thing. I'm excited. I'm excited to have you guys here today. And, hey, enjoy this Christmas holiday. I know right after Christmas, we're approaching a new year. So be ready, get ready. There's a lot going to be unfolding. There's a possibility I'm doing next week's show. I don't know yet. We'll find out. I got to find out if the studio is even going to be open. But listen, until we talk again, we vibe out. I appreciate you guys, and I just want you guys to know there's a whole lot of love over here. There's a whole lot of love from my team over here, the whole EHAS Inc. squad here in America and in Jamaica. So hey, listen, beautiful thing. And you know what? Before I go, man, let me shout out some people. I got to shout out Zana Ramsey with EHAS Jamaica, Lynette White, Andrea Samuels, Ezra Barnett. Huge. I got a shout out from the teacher side. I got to shout out Miss Jones, Miss Michelle Jones. I got to shout her out. That was amazing. I got to shout out Tiffany A. Reed. If I don't remember the names, I just didn't remember the names, guys. But you guys were all amazing. I want to thank you guys. And so listen, until we do our next show right here at EHAS Club, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year when it comes, yeah? Beautiful.
Thanks for tuning in and downloading this episode of Stories to Create. We appreciate you being part of this growing community of storytellers and listeners. If today's conversation inspired you, please share the show with friends, family, or anyone who could use a little motivation in their journey. A special thank you to our sponsors, EHAS Organization, Cornell Bunting LLC, and Nostril Cheese Chase for supporting the mission and making this podcast possible. To learn more about our work, upcoming projects, and how you can get involved, be sure to visit www.heartfelt and www.cornellbunting.com. Until next time, keep creating, keep growing, and remember, your story has power.